The other question that I just had was, what do I think about ETH BTC dynamic? Let's talk about that piece. So I answered the first question. Where do I think we could get entries? I've been saying for a very long time I expected a bounce in Bitcoin dominance. Right. So this is what happened. If you remember September, so we had DeFi summer, right? So we had August, September of 19. Right here, this pop right here is DeFi summer, where Ethereum, this whole drop, right? This is when Ethereum was really strong versus Bitcoin for DeFi summer. And then Bitcoin broke out at post-halving, went on this huge run, big dip right there. Big pop up to 74. Bitcoin was just to the moon early January, and alts were just like, some alts were even going down in value while Bitcoin was going up, right? That was happening because people were just aggressively rotating. I expect another one of these moves right here. This is what I expect to happen right now. All the way up to probably 57, which is the support level. So I'm looking at, do we come into that level? And this is where I'll start to really eye some alts. I'm waiting for us to break 50. In theory, if a lot of the market dynamics end up changing this cycle, as people theorize, we could come into some resistance at 50 and curl over. I'll watch that. We've broken out of this pattern, though, that I've been watching, right? I drew this little, pennant here, and we're breaking the upside of this pennant, as I expected. So, yeah, I would expect Bitcoin dominance in general, which is driven mostly by the relationship to Ethereum because of Ethereum's dominance compared to other altcoins, right? Ethereum is so huge and dominant in its space. So this is largely an inverse ETH chart, but this is what I watch to give me that insight. So in theory, I'm waiting for us to at least come up into here and maybe all the way up into, say, 61 on a huge move by Bitcoin, on a big breakout by Bitcoin. And then I'll see how this interacts and see when we get confirmation of rollover, just like we did here. Same exact thing. We were pretty heavy Bitcoin. When we saw this rollover here, this is where I started playing alts real heavy on this confirmation of breakdown right there. And then we played alts heavy all the way. Did we start to sell it here? What is this? May, March? Nope. April. Yeah. I got out too early, so I started rotating out of alts over here. A little early. But then I think ultimately we did end up rotating back in, whatever, you get the point. This big move, we caught a lot of alts versus Bitcoin trades. It was beautiful trading. I'm waiting for the reverse. Now I'm waiting to basically start. I'm heavy in Bitcoin as of right here. I'm looking to ride heavy Bitcoin to either here or here and get the meat of this beautiful move. And then as this curls over, I'll be getting back into altcoins as altcoins start their alt season phase 2. So that's what I'm looking to play. Let's go look at the ETH BTC chart to really answer that question. And you can see, if I go to my BLX chart, we'll overlay the Ethereum chart here in a second, and you'll see very clearly, in a historical context, why it does what it does and what we expect. All right, so I'm charting a potential, triangle, maybe pennant. I don't know what I want to call this. It's more of a triangle, right? If it breaks to the upside, it'd be a beautiful upside break, right? You got a beautiful flagpole, huge move, take you right up, probably up above this, that measured of a move at that flagpole, take you up, above this 0.085 level possibly. So if we do get a break up to that side there, you better believe I'll be playing Ethereum. I expect it. My expectation currently, let's go to the weekly. My expectation currently is that we actually end up breaking down, much like here's the last cycle. Here's the last. So this was the 2017 cycle, right? So this was June 2017 when Ethereum went on its major rampage versus Bitcoin, and then it was just a strong downtrend from there, bottomed out toward where it first had resistance, right? So it caught resistance, this prior resistance over in back in 2016 is where it caught support. It reversed on it, and a nice little second pop for alt season 2. Okay, that was January 2018. So remember, Ethereum versus Bitcoin was actually higher way back in 2017. Everybody remembers the big run-up in 2018, but the ratio, Ethereum to Bitcoin, was higher over here. All right? So I expect something similar to play out here. I expect that we got this big pop here, and possibly, there's I guess there's a world that this move right here is equivalent to this move right here. right? And we break up to the upside and it just goes bananas. If the flippening is going to happen, if Ethereum flips Bitcoin, it's going to break out of this pattern and go on a rampage even higher, right? So if the flippening is going to happen, you're going to have some similar artifact like this. So I'm watching it either way. I will play it either way. It doesn't matter to me what happens. If it breaks the upside, I'll be heavy in Ethereum. If it breaks the downside, I'll continue what I'm doing. My thesis is that you see all this, how long this took, how long this price action took. My thesis is that we're currently, over the equivalent of over here in all this price action. And then we still have a little bit of a breakdown left when Bitcoin makes this next move. And I'll be waiting for it to come back into resistance. So now, obviously, this move was a lot smaller than this move. So how did that happen? It was a lot smaller than that move. So the downside probably less too. So we'll look for it to come into support through here somewhere. And then I'll be looking to rotate into Ethereum when it comes into support. But it's going to be pretty straightforward play, like a lot of our plays. So what we're going to be looking for is we're going to draw. I'm going to see this price action playing out. I'm going to draw me a parabolic downtrend. And when we break that to the upside, now that's a weekly view, so it's really going to be really hard to see how where you would have entered there. But you can see very clearly in the daily, it's super straightforward. Almost always these patterns play out like this, and it's kind of incredible. But you get this breakout to the upside, a retest of the pattern, and then a resumption. You buy probably here or here on that resumption off of that pattern, that parabolic downtrend. You break it to the upside, and likely, hopefully, you didn't get too chopped up here. You might have been. This probably would have been a false entry signal right here. I probably would have entered there and ultimately got stopped out of any sort of ETH versus BTC trades. Or I would have had to rotate from my spot back into Bitcoin a little bit. But then you get the second opportunity here on this bounce. And you probably would have entered, you see this bounce here, the retest and the resumption. That would be your entry right there. Right, so you come off this downtrend, you bounce, come into resistance, reset, and then break resistance. And then a lot of times I'll do that, right? I will take entries on a hit resistance, consolidate below, and break through. I'll take the breakout because we've had that kind of consolidation. Alternatively, you can wait for it to come back into it. By come back into it, it's probably a better opportunity, and then a resumption off.